All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's this old outboard. 1990 Johnson short shaft tiller, 30 horse. What the hell happened to my Johnson? Anyway, today, Wednesday, the 13th, about almost 11 o'clock in the morning. Yesterday, got home, couldn't go back out to the lake. The thunderstorms rolled in, got in, ate, zonked out, slept till midnight, woke up. Anyway, I'm gonna get down there today, check everything that I'm suspecting was the problem, take her for a run. I also got a couple of comments from Cramden, and this guy knows everything. I mean, it's amazing how much he knows. Shot me a couple of comments, you know, do this, don't do that, blah, 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 which you'll see from Monday. It's already on the video. I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. And I'm still not going to let the cat out of the bag right now. But I didn't want to count my chickens before they were hatched. So I'm going to wrap up part 3 today. With this going to be the end, where I go down, check my settings. I have the proper settings for the cam roller, and we're going to go from there and see what happens. Alright, so here's what I'm doing today. Coming off the fuel pump here, there's an elbow that they put in to accommodate the smaller hose size to fit the carburetor, and it was leaking there at the elbow. Hose is done. I already did the main hose yesterday. So normally I replace all my hoses when I get a motor, but this one they seem to be pretty good, and but when I saw that leaking and everything, I said, uh-oh, let's do a replacement on all of them. Alright, let me get that done. Alright, so this is the elbow that's coming off the fuel pump going to the carburetor. That's one hell of an elbow. I mean, anyway, it looks like I'm going to have a little bit of problem with this freaking hose situation. I mean, this thing, you know, it's almost cone shaped. I can throw a zip tie on, but that's where it was leaking. And just went and bought this damn stuff, and the guy, you know, same inner diameter as the old hose, and I'm thinking that's the friggin' problem. The friggin' hose was too small, or I mean the nipple was too small for the hose. Now the nipple on the carburetor is twice the size as this nipple on the elbow. So this is the kind of shit you run into. No problems with the hose on the carburetor side. Alright, so here's what I've come up with. I'm almost sure I have some smaller hose in my storage unit, but not here. But I did find a piece of old weed eater hose. So what I'm going to do is put this on first, sleeve this nipple with the weed eater hose, and cram that baby into the new fuel line and zip tie her up, and should be good to go. Okay, so all my fuel lines new, and zip tied, tight as a drum. Nothing should be leaking. The other thing that I want to do, that I had changed around, was on this wiring here for the overheat thingamajiggy. Both of these, now I may be way off, but I don't care. But both of these clips, these wire holding clippies, one was here and one was here. I didn't really like that, so I put one here and one here. Now, I'm wondering, is it possible that this is just too close to this plug? And am I getting an arc here? Because I know one of these plug wires was a real piece of shit. Anyway, I'm going to put this back on this side just to get it out of the way, just to do, you know, I'm going to put it back. Everything I swapped and changed around, well, not everything, but I just want to move it back out of the way and see if there's any difference. Probably should have done that before I changed all the fuel lines. Test one thing at a time, but screw it, you know. Alright, so I got the wire mounts back where they were at. Also checked everything, tightened everything. It's amazing how loose some of these things have come, you know, not terribly loose, but loose, you know, compared to when I first put them back on. Anywho, pulled the plugs out, and they, you know, I mean, boy, these things do not look brand new anymore. And I mean, I've barely got a freaking hour's running time on here, and they look pretty rough, but that's expected because, man, yesterday on the water I was turning that carburetor every which way but loose, you know. And my slow speed adjustment, you know, opening it up, closing it down, opening it, back and forth, you know, trying to find a sweet spot. So I mean, pumping a lot of fuel in there, and these things are just actually pretty much a mess. So clean them off a little bit, slap them back in, and I'm going to hook up my timing light, fire it up, put the timing light on, and see if we're getting, you know, consistent firing. Alright, so reset my Lincoln sink. I think I could get any better than that. So I hooked up the timing light. There's number one cylinder. Looks fairly consistent. Alright, let me go for number two. Alright, there's number two. Hold on. Alright, so the timing light to the naked eye looks like it's not missing a beat, but when I look at it on the camera screen, it kind of looks off. So that's got to be just the camera. Anyway, like I said, put everything back where it was, all new fuel lines, and now I'm getting a response from my slow speed needle valve. Yesterday, open, close, you know, nothing was happening. And was it the fuel leaking? Was it that wire mount too close to that plug wire? I'm still getting a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a hiccup. Carbs turned out at 1.5, and is it maybe? Oh, see, I left this damn primer open, and maybe it's leaking. Maybe, you know, I pulled it, pushed it, but it was like open like that. So that's stupid. At this point in time, I mean, I don't know what else to do. Like I said, I've been running it now for probably 15 minutes solid, fooling around, adjusting this, adjusting that, mostly with my cam and roller, and getting the butterfly to just open up at the right point in time. And you know, I've set it, you know, a little bit ahead, I set it a little bit back, I set it right in the middle, you know. And the one thing I don't particularly like on this motor is there's no stop on the throttle down there, like on, you know, most motors I work on. You got a screw down here for your idle. You can crank it up if you're trolling, or just, you know, crank it down. And on this thing, I can't do any of that. So one thing I did do was I just took a piece of hose and cut it and put it in here on the cable, so it stops right before the carbs open. I mean, the butterfly opens up on my timing marks. But it still seems like it's just, you know, it gets right there, and I mean, that baby's closed, and you know, it just doesn't seem like it needs to be where it needs to be. Now, I could probably adjust this cable, but I mean, that's an awful lot of an adjustment, and I don't know, is it going to screw the whole thing up? You know, if I tighten up on this cable, loosen up on it to get it to stop in this position, is it going to screw up the whole system? I don't have tons of experience with these motors, with the cable systems. Only did a few tops, and I mean, I could try it, but I mean, the piece of hose works pretty good too, so what the hell. Anywho, I'm gonna fool around with it a little bit more and take her out for a test run. Got the old canopy up, but it is doing much better than yesterday. Like I said, yesterday, just all over the place. Like I said, I don't even have to put it in start position. I can put it right there on the cam, on the timing marks. Oh well, spoke too soon on that one. But yeah, it hasn't been. There's your start position. Hasn't been a problem starting it at all. Fool around with it a little bit, but I think pretty much rule out the coil, and You know, timing light. We're firing. You hear that? That little, you know, part of it is this handle is bumping. So you're hearing that, but it's just doing a little bit of a miss. Oh! See, you know, this damn, this thing could be leaking. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get the pinchers out and pinch it off and see if it does any different. But I mean, it's definitely still has that little hiccup, bump, you know, a little, you know, just a miss. And I think I'll try that. I'll pinch off the hose here, and because that thing could be leaking and sucking more friggin' gas than it needs. Let me give that a shot. Alright, so I pinched this off the primer, and right after I turned the camera off a couple minutes ago, started spitting and sputtering like lean sneeze. Pinched that off, adjusted my needle valve a little bit, and smoothed right out. So I think I am getting a little bit of a leak through that primer. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they do sell a rebuild kit for it, and I'm gonna look that up. This boy sounds good now, back the way it was. Sounds real good, back the way she was. And so I'm thinking that's my culprit right there. That's why I wasn't getting any response on my needle valve. I mean, I turn it in, turn it out, turn it into sauerkraut, and you know, nothing was happening. So I'm thinking I was sucking gas through that damn primer. I mean, listen, sounds like she did when I first fired her up. Don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but you tell me. I've got to go get something to freaking drink. I ran out and left my Gatorade. And I think I'm back in business, baby. Back in business. Alright, I'm back, baby. Got my Gatorade. I gotta get this mess cleaned up. Looks like we got a little darkness coming in. A little wetness maybe coming this way. Was going to take her for a spin, but first I'm going to clean up, see what's going on. Let's give her one last fire up here. I'm not even going to prime it. I still have the hemostats on there. See if she fires up. And sounds pretty good. Anyway, just little shit like that I gotta tighten up, and that's where she was, right there. Easy pull. Kid could start this motor. Alright, I gotta get this mess cleaned up. Looks like the rain's moving this way. Boy, now's the time to get on the lake. Nobody out there, get the whole friggin' place to yourself. Feeling a little bit of sprinkles. Damn, this stuff moves in fast. Holy mackerel. Just made it. Got a little bit wet, but moves in fast around here. Ooh-wee, just a little shower. Should be over with in a few. Well, I wasn't able to get the damn thing out in the water, or take it for a ride, I should say. Damn rain came in, and thunder and lightning, typical afternoon storm in Orlando. So we'll see you tomorrow. Take it for a spin, see how we're doing.